I feel like my cat's making weird noises, but like I don't really know whether it is. Hi guys, it's Amy, and I'm really tired, but I'm gonna make this video because it's like my only opportunity to. Right, so after I did my vinyls video, I swore to myself that I wasn't gonna make another long video where I just talk and explain things and chuck things in your face. But then Summer in the City happened, and then like I was too scared to film things at Summer in the City because I didn't want to look like an idiot, because I was looking at other people filming themselves and they look like idiots, and I didn't want to be an idiot. So I was like, I'm not gonna record things, I'm not gonna record myself. So I didn't really record anything, so here's a video explaining what happened at the Summer in the City at the weekend, last weekend, which was literally 2 days ago. Basically, I just filmed little snippets and there's not really that much enough to make a whole video, so here I am showing you the clips and showing you photos that I took while I was there and people that I met and explaining things and how I met these people and other things that happened because it was a really fun experience. So yesterday on the train ride home, I had 3 hours to script down everything that happened at Summer in the City and the 2 days before and after, and literally it took the whole 3 hours to write the whole thing down, so hopefully this video doesn't take 3 hours, otherwise I'm gonna literally smack someone. It lasts like literally forever, but okay. Basically, we got in London on Friday last week and we planned to stay in central London that night because we went to see School of Rock at the theatre. So we had a hotel in central London. It was a really nice hotel. A small bathroom, but it was a really nice hotel. They even had a cat at the hotel, which was really cute, even though we weren't really spending that much time there. Our hotel was near to King's Cross because in the morning after we had to walk to King's Cross to get the underground all the way to the ExCeL for Summer in the City. Basically on that Friday we just went into the shops and stuff. So we went around, walked into the shop. Basically we walked from there all the way into central London. We did like Covent Garden and stuff like that. So like there was some shops that I'd never seen before up that end of London because that was the kind of outskirts, and then we kind of went into Covent Garden. There was some really cute shops there, a lot of vintage shops, and if you know me, I love vintage clothes and stuff like that, so I basically just went into all those. So the first thing I found was this Japanese shop, and it had loads of cute stuff, and it was a tiny shop, but it had like loads of stuff, and I literally could have spent all my money there. I bought this little French cat with a beret and a baguette, and it is literally the most adorable thing. It's like a keyring, but this thing is stretchy, and I don't think I'm going to be hanging it on anything because I'll be frightened that I lose it, but literally this is the cutest thing ever. Basically after that we went to Forbidden Planet. We do have a Forbidden Planet in Newcastle, but it is literally really small, so I went to the one in London, and I love the one in London. I've been there like loads of times. I go there every single time I go to London because they always have like the most amazing things in there. I'm not really into comics, right, but I am into Riverdale, so ever since watching Riverdale a long time ago I've been pretty obsessed with it, yeah. But I'm like too extra obsessed, so I bought some comics. If you didn't know this, you're probably not a proper Riverdale fan. That Riverdale's actually based off comics. They're basically the same characters and stuff, and like it's kind of loosely the same storyline. This one's just a Jughead comic, and this is like his own series just because Jughead's my favourite character, obviously. And this is one called The Road to Riverdale, and this basically had loads of little stories from different comics about like kind of the same storyline as the TV programme. After that we walked around a bit more, and then we went to the Rainforest Cafe. Not for our lunch because it's very expensive and I probably wouldn't eat anything there because I'm a really fussy eater. I love the Rainforest Cafe because it's like a cool experience in there. It's got like the animatronic animals and this weird tree thing. I bought myself a pin badge that says Rainforest Cafe London. I mean, big spender. Then I bought this tiny little gecko, and it's kind of like rubber, and it was only like 60 pence. I was saving money for Summer in the City, alright. I didn't want to spend lots of money. The comics cost me like 30 quid, so you know. We went for a tea at Nando's that night, and afterwards we had to walk to the theatre to see School of Rock. On the way there, because it was a Friday night, there was like tons of people outside of the pubs and stuff. We were walking past this one, it had a red front, I can't remember what it was called, but there was like tons of people stood outside of it, and we walked past, and then my mom just shouted out, "Oh my god, it's Gok!" And yeah, it was Gok Wan, and he was just like stood outside of this pub with his friends. That was a famous person experience that I wasn't really planning on getting in London. Then we went to see School of Rock, and everything was goddamn expensive. Like, I'm talking, it was like £10 for one of those rubber wristbands, so I didn't want to spend money on anything, so the only thing I've got is the lid off my ice cream that I bought during the interval. That show was amazing. They even let us record some things at the end. They said like, now's the time to get your phones out, record some stuff, share on social media. Now it gets down to the quite exciting stuff. So the next morning we woke up really early, like too early. We had our breakfast, we went to King's Cross, got the underground all the way across London to the ExCeL. This Lunderground, the ExCeL's quite outside of London. Like, it kind of takes a lot of different changes. You've got to get like the underground, but then you've got to change to the DLR, which is basically the Docklands Light Railway, which kind of goes up above, not underground, if you know what I mean. Basically, we got there, my dad just went to the hotel by himself, dropped off our cases, and then me and my mum stood in the queue for Summer in the City because you had a queue to get your tickets. I had a weekend ticket, which means that I got one wristband and then I had to wear it on the Saturday and the Sunday, and this is the wristband. It's kind of one of those like kind of fabric ones. It has this thing on it that couldn't be took off, and if you tighten it you can't bring it back down. So my mum actually tightened hers too tight and then she had to go and ask for another one. But it basically says Summer in the City 2017 on it, and it's really, really cool thing to keep. We got chatting to this lovely girl from New Zealand, I think she was from. Sorry if I didn't get your accent right. I don't think you're going to be watching this, but if I got your accent wrong, sorry. She said she was staying at a hostel somewhere, if that kind of narrows it down at all. Then we went to pick up our ballot meet and greet things. If you weren't at Summer in the City this year, you probably don't know that their meet and greet system was done in a ballot system. This basically means that before Summer in the City, you had to do this thing where you got in with your ticket and then you had to put like options 1, 2, 3 and 4 on both days or whatever day you were going to Summer in the City, and these were the people that you wanted to meet. So the person that you wanted to meet the most you had to put as your first option, and then obviously as you went down, like the less of the people you want to meet. The way it worked, it was selected randomly, and everyone who put like such and such as their top option, they all got them, and then if there was any left for that person, they would go to the persons who've put them as the second option. It was a random process. It's hard to explain. It's on their website if you wanted to know more about how it was done. That's as best as I can explain it. First thing when we got in, we were like, right, we're gonna do whatever we want to first, because obviously it's gonna be quieter now before like everyone starts to arrive. Got in and I was like, oh, there's no queue for the Annabelle photo opportunity thing. If you didn't know, the film Annabelle, the creepy horror film that I've never seen personally, they had the actual Annabelle doll that's in the film in Summer in the City, and it was just sitting on a chair, and they had this table set up with a tea party and you could get your photo taken with it. So I was like, right, I'll do that, okay. So makeup's probably the most on point it was, because I hadn't met anyone yet and like literally cried my eyes out. Yeah, I sat and had a photo with Annabelle at a tea party. I mean, best meet and greet I've ever had. She didn't move, she didn't speak. It was the fastest ever meet and greet queue ever. I mean, top 10 meet and greets, that one. My first meet and greet was at 12 o'clock, that was Brizzy Voices, and I went into a queue. That queue was actually really, really small. It wasn't really a popular YouTuber, so there wasn't really that much of a queue. I was really, really close to the front, and she came out and she was the loveliest person ever. She hugged me and she was like, oh my god, hi, and I was like, hi. I can't remember a thing that happened when I got in there. She was just the sweetest person ever. She just wanted to talk. We talked for quite a while actually. We took these really, really cute pictures, and I took a selfie as well as a one properly standing up, and the person took some candids, which are kind of like photos of us when we're hugging each other and when we're talking to each other, and she was really nice. I don't want to ruin the surprise of who's under there, but that's Brizzy Voices. She wrote Amy, and then she wrote Brizzy Voices XX underneath it. It's really, really cute. So that happened, then I went back into the stalls, and there's kind of like a lot of stalls. There's some craft stalls, there's some like companies, there was like Instagram, Snapchat selling them Snapchat spectacles that cost 130 quid. I went to this cute store which sold, again, some Japanese stuff, and I bought this little whale. He's also on a springy thing, and he's kind of this like really little cute keyring that just jumped out of my hand. So basically at the back of the hall with all the stalls in it, there was some like stalls along the back row, and those were YouTubers that were there as guests that you could meet and greet, and they had their stands with their merch on along the back. At this point I saw a massive, massive queue coming out of Noodlerella. Then I looked, and Connie herself was actually there at the front, and she was meeting people, and I was like, oh my god, because I didn't get her in the meet and greet. She was not selected for me, so I was like, oh my god, I've got to go and meet her. So I stood in that queue, got given some free makeup in the queue, stood for absolutely ages, and then I got all the way down to the front whereabouts the metal barriers started to meet me. And so I was like behind these metal barriers, and then my dad at this point had gone to the toilet or something, because he was not even in the queue anyway, just me and my mum. And then he'd gone to the toilet, and then suddenly out of nowhere, I'm gonna try and not get emo about this, he just came out of nowhere behind me, and I didn't look, I just heard, Amy, there's someone here that wants to see you. Okay, so I turned around, and it was Brandon. This was a massive deal for me. When I bought Summer in the City tickets last year, I'd seen that he was there last year, and that's when I bought them, because I was like, what if he comes this year? Like, I want to meet him so bad. So I bought tickets just for him, just on that off chance that he was going to be there, so it was kind of a massive deal for me. So I was like freaking out when I'd seen that he was coming, because he means a lot to me. He inspired me a lot on this YouTube channel. He inspired me to make my own videos and to keep making my own videos and just forget what other people think of me, because, you know, I've met so many great people because of him in his fan base, and I've made so many good friends on Twitter and Instagram because of his fan base, and so many people that are so nice and on the same wavelength of like kind of supporting each other and kind of like, you know, you're doing great no matter like how many people post negative comments, you're still doing great. And it's just like a massive thing for me. I've loved him so long now and watched every single one of his videos now, so it means a lot to kind of meet him. I was probably the most die-hard Brandon Rogers fan that was there. So basically when I turned around, my heart nearly fell out of my chest, also my eyes nearly fell out of my head, because it was unreal that he was standing, this person that I've admired for so long is standing right in front of my eyes. And I just honestly couldn't believe it. I started shaking. I'm shaking right now. We took this photo where I was behind the barrier and he was in front of the barrier because I was still waiting in Connie's queue. And I was basically like a bit awkward and I didn't want the photo to be like that. So I was like, literally out loud, I said, oh, screw this. And I basically just ran around the back of the barrier, and then like when I ran around the barrier, I literally just like ran into him and just gave him a massive hug, because I just wanted to like just explain how much this moment was like meaning right now. And then we talked for a while and I told him that I'd made Lego Magic Funhouse, which is standing on my shelf right now. That's his show, if you didn't know already. I made it out of Lego, and then he was like, oh, you're gonna have to do it again because like we've got a whole new set this season, which I knew because I'd seen the trailer. I was extremely happy. He was extremely happy. He was so nice and so like smiley and bubbly, and I saw Gabriel was there, and Gabriel was like smiling at me, and I really wish I'd like took a photo with him because I didn't see him anymore over the weekend. But Gabriel, you're really nice. I got my book signed right there. I'm so glad that I met him in this environment where it wasn't where he'd put out that he was meeting people. Like, it was just a really relaxed kind of environment. It was early in the morning and there was nobody really there that was kind of like too bothered about meeting him. He didn't get a queue. It was kind of more relaxed than the Sunday, which I've just ruined the surprise of now. But after that, him and Gabriel went off and I thought I screwed it with Connie's queue. I was like, right, I'm gonna have to join the end again. But luckily, these really nice girls in the queue, they'd let me join in where I was before, so I was basically just slotted back into the queue. Then I met Connie and she was really nice. She gave me loads of hugs and she was like, oh my god, where have you travelled from? And I was like, Newcastle. And she's like, oh, you've come such a long way. She had these on the table, which is a book that comes out soon, and this is basically like a little free sampler, and basically it's signed inside. She signed them all. I don't even know what that is, but somehow it probably says Nudarella or Connie or something in there. So after that morning of craziness, we had lunch, and the lunch in the XL is jacked up prices. It was like £7 for a Subway sandwich, 6-inch. I didn't even get a drink, and it was like unreal. Like, those are really cheap up here, and it was just so expensive. We had that, and then PJ was doing a Slurp Live. That's his Q&A series that is Disney's channel if you don't already watch him. I went and watched that. We kind of sat at the back, but it didn't really matter, and he literally spilled water on himself at some point, and I caught it on video, and it was actually really hilarious. And you know, he was just like picking people out the crowd and stuff like that, and I really liked that. It was kind of like a cool kind of thing. After that, I walked back out and I realised that the Instagram stand had like no queue, so I went on there. They had this swing hanging up and you could get your photo taken, but like a boomerang, so like when you went on the swing you could like boomerang it, and that was really cool. And they also have these candy rock pieces, and they're kind of like a little rainbow, and then they have like the Instagram camera in the middle of them, and I've got loads of them and I don't want to eat them. I know they're mint because I had one, but I don't want to eat them. They're just so cute. Also, they had Instagram stickers. I put one of these on my laptop, but then I've got loads of other ones because I just started accumulating them. Then I went back out into the main hall and I met Marina Joyce, which I thought was actually hilarious. I stood outside and I was like, I saw her and I was like, I looked at her and I was like, oh my god, I'm getting in this queue, and I just couldn't stop laughing. My mum and dad were like, who is she? And I was like, Marina Joyce. And I was like, do you remember hashtag save Marina Joyce? Cut a long story short, she was actually really nice. She gave me a hug. She told me I look beautiful, which made my day. She signed my book. She drew a little cat on it and she said, Amy, I love you, heart. And this literally took it. She was like stood there and she had my book, and then she was going, and then she was like drawing it, and it literally took her about 2 minutes to draw that whole thing. And then I went back into the meet and greet hall and I met PJ, who I'd waited a long time to meet. Like, the queue was so goddamn long, but I got on talking to this really nice girl in the queue. I don't know what your name is, but like, you were so nice, and we just kept going, oh my god, I can see his hair is floating above all them people. And PJ was the nicest. I got some more candid shots taken, and he was so squishy, and I think it was because he was wearing a jumper, and he was so nice, and his hugs are really good, like, guys, oh my god. Then this was a kind of chill time. This was a kind of time of like, have a more wander about, have a bit more sit down and kind of chill out a bit. Then a queue started to form at Dodie's stand. Somewhere she'd put out that she was going to be doing a meet and greet at her stall, so then everyone had kind of flocked over, and I was one of the first people to be there, so I was kind of right at the front of the queue. I was 7th in the queue to be exact, and basically we were all like, oh, she's going to come out at 6 and she's going to meet some people. Then it rolled on and on and on, and then the volunteers at Some in the City started to muscle in, and they were like, what are you waiting for? Because the queue started to like extend out into the main walkway, and all of them were like going up to the stand, and they were like, oh, is this legit? Like, is this actually gonna happen? Is she actually coming? Cut a long story short, turns out that she was only meeting the people who had her in the ballot, who had her meet and greet, but were too far back in the queue, and she'd left before they got to meet her in the meet and greet earlier. So it was only people who had a wristband to meet Dodie. So basically, all of us that hadn't had her in the meet and greet had to leave. Then we went outside, we had our tea, which was literally a square of pizza that cost like £7.50, which I thought was ridiculous. Then we went back in, and the queue had started up again, and the queue was longer than it was before. And then we went up, and we saw that these people that were waiting in the queue that had now got bigger didn't even have Dodie wristbands on. So they hadn't even had her in the meet and greet earlier or anything like that. So then I found it ridiculous, because I was literally 7th in the queue before, and I could have met her now because these people were in the same boat as me. I was absolutely raging, and we talked to the volunteers, and they were like, oh, no way, you were in the queue right at the front. What? Cut a long story short, after a lot of time of talking to them and stuff, they reluctantly let me in the queue, which they'd actually barriered off and cut the queue, and there was literally only 10 of us in the queue, right? And I joined the back, and I knew I was gonna meet her, and I was so excited. But then she decided to leave, and she went to watch someone playing on the main stage, their music. I don't know who she was. Then we waited, and we were told that she was going to be back in like 20 minutes when she'd finished watching this person's set, right? But that was such a lie, because she didn't come back, and then turns out word got round that she actually was never going to come back because she was too tired to meet 10 people that were waiting in her queue. So I was pretty mad. I mean, the queue wasn't even going to get bigger. It wasn't going to be more than 10 people for her to meet, but she just couldn't come out and meet us. So once again, we were told to get away. That was my only opportunity to meet Dodie. I never met her on Sunday either. I didn't meet her at any point over the weekend, and I was so bummed that I was so close to meeting her, but I didn't. The way after that, we returned to the hotel, and I reminisced about all the things that happened in the day, mainly meeting Brandon, but like, I reminisced about a lot of things. So if you follow Brandon on Instagram, you probably noticed that he posted this long line of people on Saturday that said like, all of my fans, and they were come meet me and stuff like that, but I wasn't there because I was in a meet and greet at that time, but I'd already met him earlier, so it didn't really matter. And then basically he said he'd be next to the West entrance on Sunday for a meet and greet. So this was a bit more like chaotic than the other ones. We had to wake up early again, went down to the West entrance 11 o'clock, and then he appeared after a while, and we stood in a little mini queue to meet him. The first thing you might notice about all these photos and stuff is that we're both squinting on them because the sun, unfortunately, decided to make this meet and greet outside, so the sun was like incredibly bright, and we were like both like, oh my god, I can't see you because it's so bright. So basically I went up there, we took this other photo, and then he said that he loved my shirt, which was really, really nice. And there's also some video that my mum recorded of this whole moment happening. I'll insert it here.
I love this shirt. That's insane.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Nice camera.
Then we decided to wait a bit more, and we stood about a bit more, and I just watched him for a bit because I was like, you know, this is the last days here, and you know, this is gonna be it. So I decided to watch him for a bit like a weirdo, and then I decided to meet him again. So I joined the back of the queue, and then we went up, and this time I had the intention of recording a little bit for my YouTube channel. I have chopped this video down a bit, like put jump cuts in it, because there is parts of it that are a bit like cringe to me, and I just don't want to put them out here. But like literally parts where I'm talking and stuff, I'm a bit like, like, oh my god, hi, you're right here, I'm like really awkward, so like just jump cutted, but it's still the same video, okay?
Hello. Amy is a great person. We've been hanging out, we've been having coffee. Yeah, she's been sharing me a lot about this vlog. It's a great vlog. What kind of vlog is this?
I don't know. I haven't even vlogged anything while I was here.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a great way to start.
Just start here because I'm not here.
Then after that we talked about how I've been watching him since theatre class and how I've watched like every single one of his videos, and I watch all of Magic Funhouse. I'm so excited for season 2. And I talked about how I've made my mum watch every single one of theatre class and Magic Funhouse, and I've made her watch like all of his videos. I've made my dad watch Magic Funhouse actually, and it was actually like a really fun thing. He was like, oh my god, I'm so thankful, oh my god, like he was like, that means so much that you've watched everything and stuff like that, and I just made my day really. We went back inside at this point and I literally had a bit of a cry to myself inside. I literally was like, you know, this is the last moment I'm gonna see him. Then we went to the McDonald's McFlurry stand because it had no queue, and they basically did this thing, you could go in and you basically jumped, and then all these cameras took you at the same time and they could make like a loop out of it. So we went in there, we jumped and we did it, and I look like an absolute frog in this video, and my dad, I don't know really what that is, and my mum's just like, woohoo, why am I here? That was really odd, but we got free McFlurries at the end of it. Free McFlurries! I was like, yes. We wandered about after this and I actually got to meet Jamie, who's Banana Jamana or whatever her name is that I can't really pronounce. She was really, really sweet, and I bought a signed postcard with goldfish on it, and she signed it on the back down there, and she was really, really nice, and I've got some photos of that somewhere as well. Then I went to the ASDF movie stand, or Tom Scar or stand, you know, that kind of stand. Tom Scar was actually there when I walked up to it, but he literally had to leave for a panel, so I was too late for meeting him, but literally like he was right there. Anyway, he had this cool stand and I bought Mine Turtle, which makes a noise. Let me just demonstrate. How cute is that? They also, as I just said, had a lot of craft stands, so I bought this little cat, and I think it's like Neko Atsume, you know that little game where you play with the cats? I think it's like that, but this is like one of the cutest things. My mum got one as well, she got a grey one, because my cat's grey. Obviously she got a grey one. Then there was a stand called Social Circle, and I got some little tins of jelly beans from them, and also I got a little Polaroid taken by this guy who couldn't work the Polaroid camera, but it's literally me in a photo frame, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's off center completely. Then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon I went to meet Mima and Duncan, and I was kind of like not that far from the front. I would say I was about 30th in the queue, like I wasn't really that far away. I got talking to this lovely, lovely girl in the queue, and she was so nice, and I really, really wish that we'd, you know, exchanged names. I didn't catch her name. She told me and Duncan, but I didn't catch her name. We literally talked for over an hour in this queue because this queue was the slowest moving queue in the universe. It took like 10 minutes for 3 people to get through meeting them. It took so long, and I was at this point, I had meet and greet at 4 o'clock. So obviously, like, by the time I'd stopped in this queue, it had surpassed 4 o'clock. And I was meant to be meeting the Gabby show at 4 o'clock, and she was like in a line a bit more down. And this whole time I was standing for Mima and Duncan, I could see Gabby's line filling up. And I was like, oh my god, it's getting longer, it's getting longer, I'm gonna be right at the back. And it got like past 4, and Gabby actually came out and started meeting people, so her meet and greet was well underway. And I was still waiting for Mima and Duncan, and I was still like 18th from the front, and Gabby was there for my next meet and greet. Actually got to meet Mima and Duncan, and they were the sweetest people ever. They're so small and so cute, and we got to talk about cats because they have a Scottish Fold and I have a Scottish Fold cat, and this is called Cinnamon. And we basically talked, and I was like, I'm the girl that tweeted you, and I have the same cat as Cinnamon. It's called Sushi. And she was like, oh my god, he's so cute, and she was like clapping her hands, and they were adorable. They once again said that they liked my shirt. I got my book signed, there's their things, and they were so sweet. But the girl on the thing that was taking my pictures was so distracted, right, and didn't take any candid shots. So I've got none of me hugging them, I've got none of me talking to them or them signing anything, so I'm really, really mad about that. But I did meet them. So after that I had to literally run to Gabby's queue, and I was right at the back, like facing, like there was a wall at the back of the meet and greet hall, and I was literally against that wall right at the back. And yeah, it took forever. I was talking to these 2 girls from Sheffield, and they were really, really nice. They were like best friends. They'd come down, and they actually had to leave early because they had catch a train. They were going to get back at midnight or something, and they were so nice. And I had talked to them the whole way in the queue, and we were like, oh my god, we're so close. And then it got to like halfway in the queue, and we'd been sitting at the back for like a long time. And basically, when we got to halfway, they basically came down and they were like, you either get a photo or a signature. So we had to get one or the other. We couldn't get both because we wanted the queue to move smoothly. So I was like, oh, are you serious? I mean, when I first joined the queue, I must have been over 100 in the queue. But I finally, after like, what, 2 hours? I got to meet Gabby. She was so nice. She gave me like 2 hugs. She told me to take off my shirt and give it to her, which I replied, I can't because I've got nothing on underneath it, which made her like in a fits of laughter. She was like so nice, and we took the photo. Once again, the girl didn't know how to work my camera, so she didn't take any candids. When we had the photo taken, she was like, thank you, I love you so much, baby. I was like, oh my god, you're so nice. And then he ran out and I met up with the girls again, and they were like, oh my god, we're so happy. And then we kind of had that like after meet and greet kind of like experience, and we were like talking, and it was like a really, really nice thing, like that I'd seen them before and after. And thank you so much for making me laugh in the queue. Making each other laugh, that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. After that, I went outside in a Costa and I chilled with my mom and dad. My feet were killing me. And we were waiting for Dodie, who came on at 8 o'clock on the main stage. We went back in there. Me and Duncan were actually in there at the back. We got a photo taken with them again, and my mum got to talk to them because she also loves their videos because of the cat. For Dodie, there was a lot of things. Ricky Dillon and Gabby came on. They did a Q&A, and then this guy in an orange jumper and some bear slippers came on. He did a Q&A. I'm sorry, I don't know what your name is. Then the kind of warm-up acts, there was this girl that came on and played the guitar, but I don't really know what she was called. And then this little girl band of 3 people called KO, I think. Eventually, Dodie came on at 8 o'clock, and she was so good. Like, the songs were amazing, and everyone was singing, and it was such a great atmosphere. And you could see, like, all the other YouTubers, like, down backstage that were all watching and supporting her, which was really nice. And her show was just amazing. The lights were awesome, and the kind of atmosphere in there and the love in that room. Quite a lot of videos of that, which I was really happy about. And then at the end, she said, come on, friends. And then literally all of the YouTubers from Summer in the City just came on stage, and they all had like their vlogging cameras out, and they were all vlogging, taking selfies and pictures. So everyone was like waving like crazy, like wanting to be on the vlogs. And I swear I'm on like every single person's photo and vlog because I was so close to the front. But like, you can't see me, I'm just like a little dot. But I'm there. I do have a little more to explain, because I do want to explain the day after Summer in the City on Sunday, the day yesterday actually, Monday. I do want to explain about that, but I do just want to say that Summer in the City was like one of the best experiences of my life. I met so many nice people there, no matter whether we stayed in touch or not, and I got to just talk. It's so nice that in the queue, like if you're by yourself, which I was, like so many people just want to talk to you, and everyone's just on the same wavelength. Everyone's like, you know, into the same things, but also just fangirls about them like crazy. Everyone's like, oh my god, I can't believe everyone's on the same wavelength. You can tell they use Twitter. You can tell that they're up on social media. You can tell that, you know, they know about things, the same things as you. And it's just great to like kind of interact with those people who are so much like yourself. And it's just such a nice environment, some nice people, and nobody was nasty. And the only nasty people I think were like the security guards. There was like nobody in there that was in any way like awkward or anything. So I just want to say like thank you Summer in the City for that amazing experience and everything. And I definitely want to go back next year because it's actually 10 years of Summer in the City, and I'm hoping someone special is going to be there or whatever. So I'm really, really excited, and I really want to go back next year. Something that I forgot to explain, which I kept in this social circle tin, is I got some confetti from Dodie's concert. Yay! Now I want to explain the day after, which was yesterday actually, and basically this day we just did some sightseeing. We went out, and because we were in the ExCeL, which is kind of like outside of London, we got to see a lot of places that we don't normally see, which are kind of a bit more outwards. So we went to the Tower of London first. We went to Tower Bridge, and we stood right in the middle where, like, you know, we are in the middle of the Thames, and there was loads of boats going past, and we were like waving like this to the people on the boats and stuff, being in their photos. Then we went back down. We actually went into the Tower of London because my mum got in free. She has this special card thing from work, and we got in there free, and basically that was a great experience. We got to see the ravens, which I loved, and then we went in and we saw the crown jewels, which was really awesome, even though we weren't allowed to take pictures. In the gift shop, because I'm literal trash, I bought a few things. I bought this little pencil and it says Tower of London on it, and it has a little raven on the top of it, which I know you probably can't see, but it's there. Then I got a pin badge for my denim jacket. It's also a raven, and I just thought that was really cute. But then I'm absolute trash, and I actually bought a stuffed raven for myself. This is the most ridiculous thing. I don't know why I bought it, but it was too cute, and it kept looking at me in the box, and I was like, I have to buy you. And it has like the really fluffy wings, and it's just like a really, really cute thing. I don't even know whether you like birds or not, but like, this is so cute. Then we walked along a bit more and went over this bridge. This took like ages, this walk. This took miles. If I had my watch on, if it hadn't died, it would have been miles. So we walked across this bridge to like the Tate Modern and Shakespeare's Globe. I was fangirling at Shakespeare's Globe because, if you know me, I'm a massive Shakespeare fan, by the way. We needed to get back to this train station, so I basically just went in the gift shop and bought some trashy items. First of all, I bought this mug. It's Romeo and Juliet. On one side it says Capulet, and on the other side it says Montague, and it also says Shakespeare's Globe on the bottom. And it's a really, really cute mug, and I just wanted to get one. There was also temporary tattoos with these things on, but I was like, once you use them, they're gone, so I didn't want to buy any. I also got a pen from Romeo and Juliet. It says, these violent delights have violent ends, and it's just a cool pen they actually used on the train. Then I got a black Shakespeare's Globe pencil because I'm a trash for stationery. I just buy stationery everywhere I go. I couldn't resist buying this. It's still in the little bag, but this is a to be or not to be badge. I don't know if you can see, but it has a little bee in the middle of it, which I just thought was the cutest thing ever. I was like, oh, that's so funny. Then, as you might know, the Tate Modern Art Gallery is literally just next door to Shakespeare's Globe, so we went in there. That was an interesting experience. It was really weird. I didn't really know what was going on with half of the stuff. We went in loads of exhibitions. The coolest one was like a neon lights one. There was a cool one with like some neon things. I don't know what they were, but there was some cool things in there. There was a weird one that just had like a pile of trash and a stick and like 3 blank white squares on the wall, and I was like, okay. There was also one that just basically looked like IKEA's houseplant collection, but that was weird. Anyway, I did buy something. I bought another pen, and it's basically, it looks like a paintbrush, and it says Tate on it, and it kind of goes whoop, 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 whoop. It's not even called the Tate Modern, it's just called Tate, and literally every single time I see Tate, I just think of American Horror Story. I can't be the only one, right? Anyway, now I can breathe because I've told you about my whole weekend in London, and this video is going to last for forever, but I'm so happy that I finally got to explain it to all you, and I got to share all these photos and videos with you that I took, but couldn't really meld into one, otherwise it wouldn't really make much sense. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or anything regarding Summer in the City or regarding anyone I met or whatever, you can comment down below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more videos, and subscribe to my channel because I post new videos all the time, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So goodbye.